The prophets have taught that recent converts need three things to remain active in the church. They need friendship, responsibility, and nourishment by the Word of God. While retention is the duty of the Ward Council as a whole, the Ward Mission Leader knows and loves recent converts, having worked with them as they prepared to be baptized. He assists the bishop in seeing that new church members receive the help they need to remain faithful in the gospel. How did this Ward Mission Leader assist the bishop in helping a recent convert family stay strong in the church?
Muitas pessoas entram na igreja, mas não permanecem firmes. Por alguma dificuldade que encontram, talvez não receberam todo o apoio que precisavam. Mas nosso papel, nosso trabalho, trabalhando como missionários de ala, ajudar as pessoas a ficarem firmes.
While retention of new converts is primarily the responsibility of ward priesthood and auxiliary leaders, ward missionaries and full-time missionaries assist in this work. The Ward Mission Leader has a specific part in retaining new converts through his responsibilities in the Ward Council and the Priesthood Executive Committee. His role is vital in helping new members remain active in the church. In many cases, he was involved with the full-time missionaries in teaching them. He knows them, and he serves as a powerful resource to watch over and strengthen them. When Ricardo and Priscilla were baptized, ward leaders recognized that, like all new converts, they needed specific things to help them remain active in the church. They needed friends, opportunities to serve, and nourishment by the Word of God. The Ward Mission Leader encouraged the bishop to meet with the family immediately following their baptism to begin putting everything in place.
Imediatamente após o batismo deles, eu os chamei para uma entrevista e os desafiei a poder perseverar no Evangelho, de saber de que aquele era um primeiro passo, de que eles tinham um passo muito mais lindo, mais bonito, que eles pudessem um dia não somente entrar na capela, mas que eles pudessem entrar no templo, e que aquilo era um primeiro passo para um passo maior.
Through the work of the Ward Mission Leader, the family had already been well integrated into the ward prior to their baptism. He, the Ward Relief Society president, and other ward members had already established strong relationships with them. Those friendships continued as the family began to establish themselves in the church.
E todos os membros ficaram muito animados, todos os membros queriam ajudá-los, todos os membros queriam fazer parte, porque eles viram que foi uma família ótima, uma família tão eleita.
Next, the Ward Mission Leader recognized that Ricardo and Priscilla had strong testimonies and a great desire to share the gospel. He recommended to the bishop that perhaps they could be called as ward missionaries.
Eles, têm coragem de dar um testemunho, não tem. Então ele viu que ele, chegou e pediu para o bispo: eu quero aquela família como missionário de ala.
Finally, in Ward Council and PEC meetings, the Ward Mission Leader counseled with other leaders to ensure that Ricardo and Priscilla were taught and nourished with the Word of God. Under the bishop's direction, they were taught in church meetings, by ward and full-time missionaries, and by home and visiting teachers. They learned to study and pray individually and as a family. The bishop saw that Ricardo received the Aaronic priesthood soon after his baptism. The children were integrated into primary, and Priscilla began to serve in Relief Society. Day by day, the family was strengthened in their newfound faith. They had friends, callings, and they were nourished spiritually on a regular basis. The driving force behind it all was the ward mission leader. He had watched the family come into the church. He had taught them in their home. He loved them, and he wanted to see them stay strong in the gospel. Through his efforts, Ricardo and Priscilla grew and progressed in the gospel and became powerful, faithful members of the Lord's church. In this example, how did the ward mission leader assist the bishop in overseeing the growth and progress of a recent convert family? You may want to pause to reflect on what you have learned. In this example, you may have noticed that the ward mission leader helped the family develop strong relationships in the church even before they were baptized. He encouraged the bishop to meet with the family soon after their baptism. He recognized their skills and desires and recommended a possible calling for them to the bishop. Finally, the ward mission leader helped the ward council ensure that the family was nourished by the Word of God through missionaries and home teachers. As you consider this story, you may want to think about recent converts in your ward and ask yourself these questions. Who are the recent converts in our ward? What can we do to help them have friends, responsibilities, and regular spiritual nourishment?